Okay, so picture this. It's that high-stakes moment. You've interviewed for a job you really want, you feel like you've knocked it out of the park, and then the email lands. The official offer letter.
Your heart starts pounding.
Right. And the big question is, do you sign it immediately? Just thrilled to have the job? Or do you pause, take a breath, and negotiate?
And that pause, that single decision you make right there, it's not just about that first paycheck. It's about your entire financial future.
I was stunned by this statistic in our sources. When you look at the compounding effect, a single negotiation can change your lifetime earnings by over, what was it, $500,000?
Over $500,000, it's a shocking number.
$500,000, just from asking. And that comes from, compounding interest, higher 401k matches. It just sets a higher baseline for every single raise after that.
But hardly anyone does it. The data shows only about 37% of people always negotiate. The rest of us, we just take the first number, usually out of fear or, well, just not knowing how to play the game.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is all about.
We're tackling this from two sides. There's the practical skill, the how-to of salary negotiation. But just as important is the psychology, the why we freeze part. We have to understand the invisible things that make us leave all that money on the table.
So let's start with what feels like a foundational truth here, something companies definitely won't tell you.
Which is that the first offer is never the best offer.
Never.
Never. Companies absolutely expect you to negotiate. They've already built a buffer into the budget for it. I mean, think about it. They've invested so much time and money to find you. The last thing they want is to start over.
So by not negotiating, you're not being, gracious or easy to work with.
You're actually showing a lack of business sense about your own value. They expect it.
Okay, so let's unpack that psychological piece first. Because if your inner wiring is messed up, all the best tactics in the world they don't matter.
Right. The core idea is that your financial reality, your bank account, is basically just a reflection of your mind. It's all driven by these deep, unconscious beliefs.
You call these money scripts.
We call them money scripts. And they're not conscious decisions. They're emotional experiences that you absorbed as a kid. Psychologists call them money memories.
So what does that look like? Like parents fighting about bills?
That's a huge one. Or maybe you constantly heard, we can't afford that, every time you wanted something. That feeling of scarcity, it gets encoded.
Or the opposite, right?
Right.
Maybe the only way you got attention was through expensive gifts.
Exactly. All of these experiences create these powerful and usually limiting beliefs. You might learn that money causes conflict, or that asking for what you want, well, it just leads to rejection.
And that programming just runs in the background when you're an adult, making it almost impossible to ask for what you're worth.
It makes it profoundly difficult. So to help you figure out what's running in your own background, our sources outline 4 main money personalities.
This part was a real aha moment for me. Let's walk through them, and as we do, you can kind of see which one fits you.
Okay, first up, we have the money avoider. This is someone who feels genuine discomfort, even disgust around money. They might see wealthy people as greedy or immoral.
So they sabotage themselves.
Totally. They'll undercharge for their work. They'll ignore their bank statements. They might even turn down a promotion because they're afraid of the responsibility that comes with more pay.
I know people like this. They are brilliant. But the idea of just saying a number out loud, it makes them physically uncomfortable.
Then you have the flip side. The money worshiper. This person believes money is the answer to everything. The source of happiness, security, all of it.
They're usually high achievers. Right?
Oh, yeah. They're grinders. But they sacrifice everything for it. Their health, their family, their time, always chasing that next dollar.
But the thing is, they never actually feel secure.
Never. Because they think hitting, say, $100,000 will finally make them feel safe. But then they get there, and suddenly the goalpost moves to $200,000. It's a perpetual state of anxiety.
Okay, number 3 is the money status seeker.
This one is all about comparison. They use money for external validation. The fancy car, the designer clothes.
They're renting their self-esteem.
That's a perfect way to put it. They're constantly looking over their shoulder, overspending on things to signal to everyone else how successful they are.
And the last one.
The money vigilant. This is the super cautious, anxious saver. On the surface, they seem responsible, they have a budget, but they deny themselves even reasonable pleasures that they can absolutely afford.
And they're probably terrified of investing.
Paralyzed by it. The fear of loss is so strong they just hoard cash, which means their money never actually grows.
So let's connect the dots. How does knowing you're, say, a money avoider help you in a negotiation?
It's everything. If you're an avoider, you now understand why you want to accept the first offer. It's to avoid the conflict your script is telling you is inevitable. If you're a worshiper, you might fight for the highest number, but ignore huge red flags, like a toxic work culture.
So that awareness is the first step to changing the behavior.
It's the only way to start.
Okay, so once you start that inner work, let's get practical. The actual hard skills.
Yeah.
And it seems like the absolute foundation is research.
Non-negotiable. You have to treat this like a business case, not a personal favor. It's not about what you need. It's about your objective market value.
Based on industry, your location, company size, all of that.
Right. You use Glassdoor, PayScale, you talk to people in your network, you build an evidence-based case for a credible range.
And this is so important. Don't just fixate on the salary number. We have to talk about total compensation.
Yes, companies have way more flexibility on other things than they do on base salary.
So what's in that total package?
Well, the big one is the 401k match. I mean, a 6% match on an $80,000 salary. That's an extra $4,800 a year. It's an immediate guaranteed return. Then you have bonuses, which can be a huge chunk of your pay.
Okay, but what about equity? Especially in startups. That's a world of confusing jargon that just, it makes people's eyes glaze over.
It does. Let's simplify it. If you're offered stock options or equity, you just need to know a few key things. First, there are RSUs, restricted stock units. Think of those as basically free shares you're given over time.
Okay, so I wait for them to vest, and they're mine.
Pretty much. They're safer. Then there are ISOs, or options. That's the right to buy the stock later at a fixed price. We call that the strike price.
And if the company doesn't do well, those could be worthless.
They could be worthless. And you have to understand the vesting schedule. Usually it's 4 years with a 1-year cliff.
Meaning you get absolutely nothing if you leave before your first anniversary.
0. These details can be the difference between a nice bonus and life-changing money.
Wow. Okay, so we've done our research. We know the number we want. We understand the package. Let's talk timing. What is the absolute worst time to bring up salary?
In the early interviews, for sure, you haven't proven your value yet, and it's just an easy way for them to screen you out.
So what do you say if they push you for a number?
You deflect, politely. Something like, I'm really focused on understanding the role first. I'm confident that if we both feel it's a great fit, we'll be able to agree on a fair compensation.
And the best time?
The second you get that formal, written offer, that's when you have all the leverage. They've picked you, they want you. Restarting that whole search process is a huge pain for them.
And the crucial step here is to never, ever accept on the spot.
Never, even if the number is amazing.
Really? Even if it's perfect?
Yes, you just say, thank you so much, I'm really excited about this. I'd like to take a day or two to review the full package before I respond. It signals that you're thoughtful and it gives you time to plan your counter.
Okay, so that 24 or 48 hours is up. It's go time. We need to start with gratitude, but how do you make that pivot to the actual ask?
You frame it as a collaboration, you say how excited you are, and then you could say something like, after reviewing the package, I wanted to discuss the compensation to make sure we're fully aligned on the market rate for this role and my experience.
And then for the centerpiece strategy, the anchoring or bracketing. If they ask you for a number, you give a range.
Yes, and your real target number needs to be at the bottom of that range.
So if I want $90,000,
don't ask for $90,000. Ask for, say, $90,000 to $100,000. That higher number, the $100, it anchors the whole conversation up there. Psychologically, they immediately start thinking in that zone.
So when you eventually settle for $93,000, they feel like they got a deal and you're above your target.
Everybody wins. And that top number should be ambitious, maybe 10–20% above your target, but still be credible.
And this is critical.
Yeah.
You can't just throw out a number. You have to provide the rationale.
Always. You link it to value. You reference your market data. You mention your quantifiable achievements. Based on my track record of increasing sales by 35%, I believe a range of $90,000 to $100,000 reflects the value I'll bring.
It's so much more powerful. You're not just asking, you're justifying.
And then you put that counteroffer in writing. An email is fine. Be confident. No apologies. Get rid of phrases like, I'm so sorry to ask, but...
What about an internal raise? That feels different. You don't have the same leverage.
It's a whole different ballgame. For an internal raise, it's all about meticulous, long-term documentation. You have to build a case over months, tracking every win, every new responsibility.
And what if your manager says, look, you're at the top of the pay band for this role?
That's your cue. You pivot the conversation from being about a raise to being about a promotion. You argue that your contributions have already outgrown your current title, and you need the role and the pay that match what you're actually doing.
No matter how good your counter is, you're going to get pushback.
Oh, you have to expect it. They'll say things like, that's a bit higher than we budgeted, or we have to maintain internal equity.
And the impulse is just to fold immediately, say, oh, okay, never mind.
Right. Don't panic and don't back down. Instead, you shift into problem-solving mode. You ask clarifying questions.
Like what?
Like, I understand. Is the issue with the salary range for this specific role, or is it more of a company-wide budget limitation we need to navigate?
Ah, so you reframe it. It's not me versus you anymore. It's us versus the problem.
Exactly. And if they tell you the base salary is truly maxed out, that's when you pivot. You shift to the non-salary items, which are often way easier for HR to get approved, the one-time costs.
Okay, let's run through those pivots. What's the best one?
A signing bonus is a great place to start. If there's a $5,000 gap in salary, ask for a $10,000 signing bonus. It's a one-time hit for them, not a recurring cost.
What else?
Flexibility, extra PTO, more remote workdays. Control over your time can be more valuable than a few $1,000s.
I love this next one. Asking them to invest in you.
Yes, ask for a professional development budget. Get them to commit to paying for a specific certification or tuition. It shows you're serious about growth, which they love.
And if they still can't get there, the final backstop.
A future review. Get a written promise to revisit your salary in 6 months based on you hitting specific, measurable goals. It gets you in the door at their number, but keeps your target on the table.
Okay, let's talk about the big mistakes. The things you should absolutely not do.
Number 1, your credibility is everything. Never lie. Don't invent a competing offer. Don't inflate your current salary. They will find out and the offer will disappear.
What's next?
Don't make it personal. Your student loans, your mortgage, that's not their problem. Your case has to be 100% about the professional value you bring to the company.
And finally,
Don't get tunnel vision on just the base salary. Be flexible. The whole package matters.
which brings us right back to the beginning, back to the psychology. This whole battle between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset.
Right. Scarcity, which comes from those old money scripts, causes what they call tunneling. You can only see the risk, the potential for loss, so you make a bad short-term decision, like grabbing the first offer just to make the anxiety go away.
Whereas an abundance mindset sees it as a collaboration, a way to define your fair value, not a fight over a limited pie.
And the deeper issue is what we call the income thermostat. If you fundamentally don't believe you're worthy of wealth, maybe your script is rich people are greedy, you will unconsciously sabotage yourself to stay at a financial level that feels comfortable to your identity.
So if I get a big raise that pushes me past my thermostat, I might subconsciously start overspending just to get back down to a level that feels right. That's a scary thought.
It's powerful stuff, and this is where delayed gratification comes in. It's basically the marshmallow test for adults. Financial success is all about choosing that bigger future reward over the small, immediate one.
How do you get better at that?
You build friction. You make it harder to make bad, impulsive decisions. Institute a 24-hour waiting period on big purchases. Automate your savings so you never even see the money.
The big takeaway here seems to be the identity shift. It's not about setting a goal. It's about changing who you believe you are.
That's it exactly. Don't just aim to get a raise. Aim to become the kind of professional who knows and confidently advocates for their market value. The identity shift is what drives the result.
So once you've done it, you've negotiated the deal. What's the final step before you sign that paper?
You get every single thing in writing. The exact salary, the bonus structure, the vesting schedule, the remote work days, everything. Get it all in the final written offer letter before you formally accept. For a really complex contract, it might even be worth having an employment lawyer look it over.
Protect that $500,000 decision.
You have to.
So this deep dive really shows that mastering this skill, it's a two-pronged attack. You need the professional strategy, the research, the anchoring, but you also need the deep psychological work of rewriting those old money scripts.
And remember, this isn't a one-time thing. It's a professional skill you build over your entire career. Every time you do it, you get better, more confident. It just snowballs.
So a call to action. Start small. Take one small identity-based action today. Maybe it's just researching your market rate tonight, or maybe it's setting up that automatic $10 transfer to savings. Just cast one vote for that new identity.
And I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The biggest benefit of getting your money mindset right, it isn't actually the amount of money you earn, it's the resilience you build. When a financial crisis inevitably hits, you lose a job, you have a huge expense. That internal shift means you respond by problem solving, not by spiraling into panic and shame. You become the one in control of the tool instead of being controlled by the fear of it.